welcome to Palindrome ASMR. Today, I want to talk about an interesting thing that is currently occurring on the internet. Which is to say, lots of interesting things are occurring on the internet, but there is one thing in particular that I particularly think is interesting, and that's the use of Hitler as an internet meme. There are some interesting video edits going around of songs like We Are Number One and the Legend 27 video. Hitler is the Legend 27, or We Are Number One, but it's Hitler. And while I am touching on a very touchy subject here, I think, and it's probably going to cost me for me to state my opinion, I just think that it's interesting that that kind of meme can be funny. I will admit, it's pretty funny. What happens is the video plays, but it's in German, and the subtitles are Hitler-esque. Like, instead of We Are Number One, it's We Are the Third Reich. And instead of If you want to be a villain number one, you're gonna have to catch a hero on the run. It's you. If you want to be a Nazi number one, you have to catch a Jew on the run. And for some reason, I just find that to be funny. I don't know why. No, I do know why. And I'm going to be explaining why. I'm going to be breaking down why Hitler as a meme, and also, I forgot to mention, on the main character of the song, there is the head of Hitler that's been edited in to float around right around the headspace. So it looks like that person really is Hitler. And it's just funny. I have to admit. It's just, for some reason, it's funny. I mean, the anatomy of a joke is as such. There is a setup where an idea is introduced. There is a primer where the idea is compounded upon. And then there is a punchline where the idea is twisted for a funny result. Because it is ideas that, when an idea is unexpected, we laugh. We laugh at unexpected things. That is the basis of why we laugh. We laugh because things are unexpected. That's what the punchline is. It's a twist ending. And when something happens unexpectedly, it's funny. And the reason why Hitler singing We Are Number One, except it's We Are the Third Reich, and they're chasing Jews, is funny because there's been a setup, and there's been a expounding, there's been a setup. The joke has been set up by the myriad World War II documentaries, by movies like Schindler's List, and by, like, everything we know about Nazis. From video games, and from, well, pretty much everything. And Hitler is usually treated quite seriously because, in fact, he is very serious. He is a very serious subject. And that serious subject is the setup for the joke of Hitler singing "We Are Number One." If you don't know what "We Are Number One" is, you're on YouTube. Go look up "We Are Number One" and watch any one of the many permutations of the song. And then come back and continue this video. But you probably know what, well, I can't assume you know what "We Are Number One" yet. My audience isn't the same audience that watches "We Are Number One." But it's funny because we don't expect Hitler to sing "We Are Number One." And going along with it, it's just continuously funny because he's talking about chasing Jews instead of chasing heroes. Because the villain, "We Are Number One," is a song sung by the villain of the story. But this is a show called Lazy Town, which is a kids show. And so the villain is kid-friendly, very kid-friendly, which is ironically the source of his popularity, but he's a bumbling, rambling idiot who just acts like a total buffoon. But it's funny because he's a villain, and you don't expect villains to act like that. And when Hitler is cast into this role, you laugh because it's so unexpected. And I think that laughing at Hitler is the product of 70 years of aging. I think laughing at Hitler is the world's healing process. When you are overcome by morose, macabre, and horrifying things, human nature says that the best thing to do is to laugh at it. When we laugh at things that are horrifying, we build a wall between that thing and us. We build a wall between the horrifying thing and our psyche, thus healing us of the secondhand trauma we may have experienced from the stories about that event. And I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I won't say anything for the many Jews and the families of those people who were affected by Hitler. I won't say anything for how they feel about this whole thing, but they may feel offended. And some of you may feel offended, but a good joke doesn't get by without offending someone. It just so happens that this joke might offend a lot of people. If you want to watch the Hitler is number one, then just look up in the YouTube search bar, "We are number one, but it's Hitler." And you'll find it. It's just a couple seconds away, and you can watch it, and you can laugh at it, and you can understand why I think it's so interesting that such a horrifying thing has become a joke. And there's another side to it too. Now, you probably wouldn't be able to get by criticizing certain people like that, but because Hitler is so universally hated and feared by pretty much everyone on the planet, I'd say that I bet you that 99% of people on this planet think Hitler was a horrible person and the Nazi Third Reich was evil. And though that is a product of the quote, "winners, the victors write the history books," I do think that the universally hated and despised status of Hitler as a pop culture icon, as a enemy in video games, as a subject, as a villain in World War II documentaries and movies about World War II. He is so universally hated and despised that it becomes relievingly funny to see him in a meme. And I think that's an interesting concept. Relievingly funny. Funny in a relieving way. I'm relieved to be laughing at Hitler because Hitler is scary. Because Hitler's concentration camps are the stuff of nightmares. A child's nightmares turned into reality. Somehow, a child's nightmares were turned into reality. It's happened many times in the past, and it's happening today. Nightmares into reality. But this nightmare is especially potent. This nightmare of concentration camps and the cold, calculating, ruthless brutality of a foe who doesn't care about you and doesn't care about your death. Your death is just a number to them. You're just another package on the assembly line. And I think all of us, the entire world, has been traumatized by that. And laughing at Hitler and laughing at Robbie Rotten talking about sending Jews to the concentration camps is the world's defense. It is the method by which we, the collective psyche, the collective unconscious, heals from that wound. And, well, okay. I do believe in the collective unconscious, and I believe it is a real thing. While most people believe in the collective unconscious as a concept, they're like, oh yeah, Jung had this idea, the collective unconscious. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's just an idea. It's a construct. It represents this thing that happens, this communication between people. It's a representative archetype. It's a allegory. It's a metaphor, the collective unconscious. But I am actually of the firm belief that the collective unconscious is a real thing, that people are psychically linked. Everyone in this world is linked psychically. I've seen evidence of psychic powers. Well, not really powers, more like psychic events. And I think I am of the opinion that there is a vast network of interconnected, physical, manifestable links between people that create this collective unconscious. And this collective unconscious it might become detectable by instruments of science in a future age. That is the kind of collective unconscious I believe in. That if science so chooses to advance to the stage where they will properly test a hypothesis like this, they will find that the collective unconscious is a real physical phenomenon, as physical as gravity and the strong and weak nuclear forces and electromagnetism and this. I don't know how it works. All I know is that from what I've seen, the collective unconscious is as real as our perceptions of the world. And this collective unconscious acts in the way that Jung describes it. And the death of 6 million people causes a disturbance in the force, so to speak, this collective unconscious. And that disturbance in the force, the voices of 6 million people crying out in pain and agony, caused a wound in the human collective unconscious. And because of this event, because of this wound and all of the suffering that was caused, humanity needs to heal. This was as physical a wound, as physical a trauma as a soldier who almost dies, or someone who gets in a near fatal car accident and their post-traumatic stress disorder basically guides them through their life. And it is of my opinion, I do not know how true this is, that Hitler's genocide against the Jews caused trauma to the collective unconscious. And only now, 70 years later, are we able to laugh at what once frightened us. I think the age of Schindler's List is over, and the age of, what was it, Killzone 3, where you shoot those Nazis up. The age of we are number one, but it's Hitler, is upon us. The new age of healing from the trauma of the 20th century. The laughter at these horrifying events. Hitler is the first. Then soon we will be laughing at Stalin, and we will be laughing at Mao, and we will be laughing at all of the atrocities of the 20th century. The internet will turn them into, well, the internet will heal the human collective unconscious through the use of memes in its broad, defined term. That is to say, a meme is simply an idea that is transferred through mimicking or behaviorally transferred idea. That is a meme, as coined by Richard Dawkins in his 1917 book. I don't remember what the title of the book was, but the word meme was coined by Richard Dawkins, the famous atheist, in the 1970s book, to mean a behaviorally transferred idea. And the use of internet memes in this broad sense is going to bring healing to the atrocities of the 20th century. And by a lesser extent, the admittedly still meaningful but less potent atrocities of the 21st century so far. And that is my view. That is my spiel on what I think of Hitler as an internet meme. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore you with my long diatribe. No, it's not a diatribe. It was a expounding. It was a thesis. No. A conversation on the meaning of Hitler as an internet meme. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. You're amazing if you've watched this far. I hope you enjoy, tell me what you think in the comments of my new lighting setup. I'm still messing around with it. I need to get some white lights instead of these. And I need to get rid of that glare right there. But I'm working on my lighting. That's the first thing I'm going to fix. And then I'm going to fix my microphone. And then I'm going to fix my camera. Thank you for watching. You're amazing. Buy my books. That is all. Goodbye.